Love the comments about landlords' attorneys being hired to snake their way out of their obligations to society here. That's probably far from the case from what I see. Hi, my name is Rob Wells. I'm the Landlord Warrior on TikTok and YouTube. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to those videos. Now, this comment here, I always get this sentiment from time to time, and I feel where folks that post these comments, hey, landlords attorneys trying to weasel their way out of their obligations of society, etc. here. At least in California, that's probably far from the truth. There are a lot of regulations with operating a rental business now in California, with the state's Tenant Protection Act of 2019, local various eviction control ordinances at the city level. There's also rent control and other various regulations that local municipalities are passing. Probably from just anecdotal experience, talking with mom and pop landlords, especially, that's usually who I'm talking with. They're not even aware of these regulations, and that there are rules and regulations with rental increases, rent and eviction control. And a lot of times these issues don't come up until there's an actual problem, and then they're going to a landlord's attorney. They're doing an analysis to make sure the tenancy is in compliance with the law, and then you have to give them the bad news that, hey, there are several things that we're going to need to fix before we can address your non-payment of rent situation, particularly with certain Tenant Protection Act disclosures or rental increases that go over the legal limits of the Tenants Protection Act. I'm pulling up an article right here, actually, that where for this user was asking for attorneys that tenants have. Okay, and this news press release from the Attorney General's office for the state of California reminds us that tenants have a lot of representation now with the Tenants Protection Act, including the Department of Justice coming on board, local prosecutors from the district attorney's office, local legal aid societies that protect low and moderate tenants, basically, from unlawful rental increases and so forth. There are a couple of different provisions in the penal code for unlawful price gouging under Penal Code 396 when there's a state of emergency. That's actually a crime in California for increasing rents over 10% under certain circumstances after a state of emergency is declared. There are other consumer protection laws as well under California law that a landlord, particularly with this landlord here that got jammed by the Attorney General's office, was increasing rents, unlawfully issuing illegal eviction notices without just cause. They found out the hard way by paying almost nearly an $800,000 settlement and getting prosecuted by the state. Okay, so, and not to mention the private bar that represent tenants, from illegal practices from landlords as well. So landlords, especially mom and pop landlords, they've been running their businesses before without a lawyer, sometimes in the old days, and now you can still do evictions and give notices of rental increases and so forth, but you're expected to know the law and these various regulations and so forth all together. They all act as one protection unit, so to speak. So as they say, ignorance of the law is no defense to an illegal rental increase or an unlawful tenancy. So we're here to try to help landlords out navigate that process or those regulations. So landlords, if you're in the Northern California area and you need help understanding just cause eviction requirements in your local municipality, or if you're subject to the Tenants Protection Act, rental increases, so forth, feel free to reach out. We might be able to help out. Put your comments, questions down below. Try to answer them to the best of my ability. Until next time, folks, talk to you then. See ya.